Hey, this is Tarence Lauchié, and I'd like to thank you for tuning in to this podcast, The Growth Exchange. This podcast was designed to curate conversation, dialogue, and monologue around all things growth. I believe that everything living has the potential to grow into its fullest and most maximal potential. So let's grow. Hey, welcome back. We're in season 2 of the Growth Exchange podcast. I'm Dr. Tarence Lauchié, and honored and privileged to have this individual with me today. I often say guest, but I don't want to make it like it's an interview. It's more of a conversation, a dialogue about growth, about change, advancement, and I'm privileged to have somebody who's not new to the game, but true to the game as a motivational speaker. He's an author, and he also does content creation. You may have heard of him, may not, but if you haven't, you will. So I just want to welcome Abdul Ciise. Thank you for being here, man.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we came to know each other through a couple of various introductions. A previous guest, Dr. Jason McGee, suggested you, and then also someone who works behind the scenes, one of your brothers, Joshua Harris, says that I should be talking to you.
Honestly, I'm excited that my name is getting out there. That's a big honor and respect, and I hope I can meet all expectations, to be honest.
Yeah, well, the goal is to just talk about change, and and growth. I know that you've experienced some in your life as a Grand Valley grad, as a recent author, which we're going to talk about your book a little bit, but then also as a content creator, you have a passion toward somewhat a combination of the arts as well as life happenings. Talk a little bit about that. Where does that come from?
I'm a very creative person, so when you can make a video, it's like you can edit it in 1,000 different ways. The amount of angles and shots you could take, it's just it's a fun way to see how you can teach.
Sure. So your major wasn't production, was it?
No, it was psychology.
Yeah.
Long story short,
hence the motivational speaking, right?
Yeah. I just liked making videos, but at first it started off with me consuming content like crazy, because I would watch a ton of podcasts like this, and one of my life goals is to be on a podcast called The School of Greatness.
Oh, I thought you were going to say to be on the podcast, The Growth Exchange. Man, you missed that cue. You think we should cut? No, go ahead. Go ahead.
We can run that back.
I'm messing with you, man.
But that was just what I consumed, because I always had just a thirst for information.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm not where I want to be. There's just information I'm missing.
Right.
And that was a really, really important distinction to make. There's nothing wrong with me. It's not that I'm inadequate or not good enough. There's just stuff I don't know.
Exactly. But that's also a position of humility.
Yeah.
And that's vital. You obviously came up with some upbringing that says, stay humble and learn a lot. Never stop learning, because as we learn, we grow. Yes. What is the definition of growth for you when you think about it? I mean, you're in your 20s, right? Yeah. So you're still growing. And then we'll talk about the increments of 20 in just a minute. I know that we live life in 20-year segments. The first 20 years are your learning years. Yeah. You're just leaving the learning years now into your earning years. So what does growth mean?
I want to say not staying still.
Okay.
But I don't want that to be misconstrued as always doing something.
Right. Because busy is not always productive.
No. And I think that's, you're really right. The first 20 years were learning years.
Oh, yeah.
That's so true. Because
you learn what to do and what not to do.
And then it's just you're just not good at anything yet. You genuinely have to learn. And just a little side note, actually learn.
You learn some things along the way.
Actually learn, and you can only learn if you're active and you're reflecting on the things that you're going through. And I think I spent a lot of my years just kind of just life is happening to me. This is just happening. This is just a circumstance I'm in. Yeah. Whatever. It's just an attitude you can take. It'll get you so far, but to really get the most out of life, you have to be an active participant in it.
Well, two things I think that's surfacing even in this exchange is that you understand what it means to be a student and to learn, and you said, okay, I'm learning. You didn't just go through the motions. And as a result of it, you wrote a book.
I did.
And you do motivational speaking.
I do.
You do content creation, all of those things that are expressive of what you've learned.
Yes.
Not just something that comes on the fly. So where did all that come from? And talk a little bit about the book.
The book is a culmination of my life.
Okay.
I put in pretty much any major struggle I had and how I solved it. I think
And the title is Life Does Not Have to Be Hard.
Life does not have to be hard. The blueprint for growing, healing, and becoming a stronger human.
You're the right guest for this show, man. No, I ascribe to the same values.
Yeah.
Seriously. I mean, I've had some challenges in my life, but nothing insurmountable, nothing that stopped me from growing or is stopping me from growing.
And it's like, I think too many people, they think they failed way too early.
So give up.
And they give up.
Yeah.
It's like you have the rest of your life. You can't fail too early. There's still tomorrow. You just woke up again.
Right.
So, and I want to go back to my earlier point when I said standing still. You know, you asked me what growth meant. I said not standing still. And when you're not standing still, it's like you're not, but you're also not a chicken with their head cut off.
Right. You're not just running around. Yeah.
And it's okay to take a little, like, crawl. You don't have to walk. Like, it's a lot. Everything's a lot. Like, so earlier in August, I quit my job.
Okay.
Earlier in August, I quit my job, and I loved what I was doing, but I thought this would fulfill me more, to be honest.
So you took a leap.
I took a leap.
To do something different in order to get a different outcome.
Yes.
I think that's the starting block of success is doing something different, not necessarily quitting your job, but just doing something different than what you were doing. Because if you keep doing the same thing, you're going to get the same result.
The same result.
So when you take a leap like that, you know, what comes to mind immediately?
I'm going to give it a try.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a try. Like, there's only so many risks that you can't take without coming back from it. You know? I'm 24. I have 2 degrees. I have an idea of something that could potentially work.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been creating content since I was like 18, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I started my YouTube channel I want to say sophomore year of college.
Yeah. I have to admit your excitement on the channel is a whole lot. Like, I'm right here. Is that your motivational mode?
I think it's like the information to me seems so in my face.
And you're passionate.
You know, and let's say I figure out a new way to share that same lesson.
Got it.
You know, and that's all I'm doing. Nothing. I haven't invented any new wisdom or advice or nothing.
I hate to go all scriptorial, but there's no new thing under the sun. There's nothing new, you know.
There isn't. Now I'm just trying to find a way to let the people of today's age know.
Yeah.
You know, let me just bundle it up in the words that we use today.
Sure. Like you keep using the term fire.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly.
Yeah, fire. My kids are like, Dad, don't try to stay up with the terminology. But I get it. Yeah. It just simply means acceptable, exciting, approved, cool, slick, sly, smooth. Exactly. I mean, I can go all the way back to the 60s, you know, about what that word really means. Yeah. But tying it to your book, life does not have to be difficult. Talk about it.
I think that's something I decided to accept as a belief. That my life does not have to be hard. Doesn't mean it's easy. Doesn't mean I'll always have everything I want handed to me. But there's a human choice you can make every moment to accept whatever moment you're in. Mm-hmm. And that is fundamentally what, if there was one main point I'll hope any reader would walk away with, it's that. Yeah. You know, like we project whatever emotion onto any experience we're having, you know?
That's true.
Everybody has experienced some type of trauma, you know? Now it's how are you going to respond to it? Yeah. Are you going to be angry at the person who hurt you? Yeah. Because now you're angry too.
Mm-hmm. Chuck Swindoll, I don't know if you're familiar with him, his writings, he has a poem that he wrote, is actually used in corporate oftentimes, just called Attitude. And he says life, you know, is full of, I'm paraphrasing, life is more about the attitude than it is the experience itself. He says, in fact, life is probably 90% of what happens to me and 10% of how I respond to it. But that 10% makes all the difference in the world. It will teeter-totter, you know, 100%. The success. It will give you the tools that you need in order to get out of the situation. You mentioned that everybody's experienced some form of trauma. Some situations that haven't even been traumatic. They've just been unfortunate experiences or mishaps. But those who have experienced trauma, since you're a psych major, tell me, man. tell me about that. So your undergrad is psych. What's the grad degree?
I did my master's in higher education.
Okay. So you can be an educational psychologist right now.
something of the sort.
Yeah.
But I took a trauma and resilience class my senior year. And it was eye-opening. Just the different experiences you could have that you don't control, but like how much resilience plays
Oh yeah.
in helping you overcome, you know? Then there's your environment. You
Mm-hmm.
don't control your environment, right? But that certainly plays a role in the genes that get turned on and off.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was like, epigenetics? That's a
Exactly.
thing?
That's my word, man. I
I'm
love
like,
it.
hold on, wait a minute. That's a thing?
That's a thing. And it creates culture based on the spaces that you're in. Literally, vocabulary is obviously another one of those things, words that you're exposed to and words that you're able to use as triggers, because all triggers aren't bad. People say, oh, you triggered. I want to trigger some good things by speaking some good words.
And it's like I learned that anything that we might have had happen, right? There's a way we can use it for good.
Mm-hmm.
And when you use it for good, your brain starts working differently. Then neuroplasticity came into play.
Yeah.
I said, whoa, you're telling me, let's say, for example, I lose my sight. That area of my brain that processes the visual stimuli might shrink, but then you're hearing that area, the auditory
It's
area,
going to expand.
it's going to expand.
Yeah.
Then I was like,
God is awesome. That's all I got to say. He knows how to make it work.
like we're still doing research to understand how our body works.
Mm-hmm.
We still don't know everything about ourselves.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, humans got to chill with this AI stuff. I love it. ChatGPT, I use it all the time. But I think every human needs to spend more time with themselves.
Yeah, and learning the creation itself. Well, you know, one way to do that is to understand the creator, and that has everything to do with how people choose to take life.
Yeah.
We were talking a little off air about your journey as an 8-year-old, as an immigrant coming here to the States, and right now it's a hot topic. Immigration is a hot topic. What's your take on this whole thing, man? You don't have to get political, but you know, being a person who migrated here with your family.
I think we're all just scared of each other.
That has a lot to do with it.
I think we're all just scared of each
If I
other.
were to migrate to Somalia, I'd fit in, of course. But if I were to migrate there, how would it be different than you all migrating here?
Infrastructure is cheaper. You know, that's about it. Like, Somalia's the same as here. You got businesses, you have people, you know, you have an economy, you have mothers trying to make sure they have good futures for their children, fathers that want the same thing. Like, humans all want the same thing.
Absolutely.
You know, but I think when it comes to immigration, it's like, hey, if you came to my house on a random Thursday night and you tried my mom's food, I promise you, you'd want to eat it every day too.
Every day. You want to be there,
You'd
right?
want to be there too.
You speak highly of your family. You guys are obviously a close-knit group.
Absolutely.
5 siblings?
5 siblings.
Wow.
Yeah, and you know, my parents are awesome.
Yeah.
They
Say it again. Say it for the people in the back.
My parents are awesome. I wouldn't be who I am without them, you know.
Well,
And
shout out to them. Yeah.
and it's like I think parents, their whole job, and I think I got really lucky. You know, their whole job is to instill you with what you need to survive in today's world, right? And I think they gave me. So okay, look, my parents aren't rich. It's not like I got $1 million, you know.
Yet.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I know there are $1 million content creators. You do know that.
This is very true.
Yeah. And
But
speakers and authors.
in terms of what my parents gave me growing up, it wasn't money, right? But they gave me character traits.
Obviously.
They gave me not the skills itself, but how to get good at the skills. You know, you can't teach the motivation I have. I try my best to. I'll be so honest with you. Like, I'm just trying to give to the world what my parents gave to me, because I think that those just instinctual ways of being as a person that I have, and just like my mom would always tell my dad, right? She my dad doesn't even like to admit this, but she would say when they were in Somalia, she would always tell them, one day we're gonna come to America. One day, I don't know what's gonna happen. Somehow, our kids are gonna grow up in America. We didn't know there's gonna be a war, and then we'd have to escape, and all this would happen. But she would always say that. She would always say, we're going to land. She was like obsessed with Miami Beach. She wanted to always go there.
Okay.
And she would say, one day I'm going to go see Miami Beach.
There you go.
I'm going to go and see it. And it's funny because when we landed in America, before we came to Michigan, we came through
There
Miami.
you go. So your mom's a prophetess. She's
Mom,
spoken. She's spoken into existence,
hey,
right?
I always tell my mom before I got something, hey mom, pray for me.
Amen.
You know
It's
what I mean?
obvious though that they instilled, like you said, character traits and even the desire, the will, the goal to achieve in life. But you had to do something with it. And when we come back from the break, I really want you to dig into, anything you want the listening audience or the viewing audience to know about you, and even how to get in contact with you to do some of the work that you do, and to even perhaps sit under some of your motivational teaching. Listen, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll discuss more about Abdul's book and even his perspective on change. We're living in an interesting time and an interesting world right now when migration, immigration are all issues, and some for the good and some not so good. But we're just going to talk about how it's all about how you handle it, how you perceive it. We'll be right back. This episode is sponsored by Speak Media Services, where we believe everyone deserves the opportunity to capture and preserve their unique stories. You're not just another number in the crowd. Your individuality matters. Our intimate photography and videography services are tailored to your vision and budget, ensuring your essence shines through. Allow us to help preserve the moments that mean the most. With our support, you'll create cherished keepsakes to treasure for years to come. Speak Media Services, your story, your way. And we're back, round two of our conversation. I've got Abdul here, and we were talking a little bit about change and growth. His book, Life Does Not Have to Be Hard. And I think that there's so much to just scanning through the outline of the book. I saw, how many chapters is 8 chapters, or actually
Yep,
8 chapters of content that speaks to your own experiences, but it also encourages other people.
Yes.
And having that content when you go out and do motivational speeches or when you host a motivational experience, how do you tie all of that together? Are you preaching from the book is what I'm asking you.
This is something I spent a lot of time thinking about, because I'm like, I want my book to be a standalone thing, and then I always want to make content about new stuff, because I always want to be growing in my knowledge so that I can continue to become a better teacher. But I think fundamentally, I think my book has so much information that I learned over so much time
Sure.
that now it's kind of like, okay, it's like 60-40.
Okay. It had to be compressed because 24 years is not a long time, but
Yeah.
it is a long time
It's
when
very
you,
long, yeah.
when you're 24. You're like, hey, I'm 24. It took 24 years to get here.
For real.
Right? Well, you
For real.
multiply that by 2 or 3. It's people who, feel like, oh man, you still got a long way to go. I want to commend you for being as mature as you are with the knowledge that you've received. We talked a little bit about those 20-year increments, the first 20-year learning years. The next are your earning years. You're earning reputation, you're earning money, you're earning rights, you're earning respect. How are you coming along with that right now in your second 20?
The second 20,
Sounds like a chapter in the book.
Yeah.
Right?
No, honestly. So far, the last 5 months have been extremely challenging.
Well, you got a book out.
I got a book out. I worked on finishing the book, because that's something I want. I was not going to start 2026 without finishing that book.
Great.
So I said that was my main goal. My second goal was to keep growing on my social media platforms, and I've been doing that. The other day we hit 20,000 followers on Instagram. Yeah, that was insane.
We're gonna tag it, of course, in the notes, but you can go ahead and shout out your social media platforms so that those who are listening, right, they probably already started, looking you up, Googling you.
It's just Abdul.mindset.
Yeah.
On Instagram and on TikTok. And on TikTok I have 5,000 followers. I said, what? Like I used to dream about having this, and it's insane, because I'll check. And actually I've had a post that's been blown up recently about my actual personal story.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, as far as a kid growing up here and all that?
Yeah, like I put it into like a little carousel with pictures and words kind of describing my experience at that time of life, all the way until pretty much now. And like in the last probably week-ish, it's gotten 300,000 views.
My goodness.
But the comments are really what has been blowing me off, because it was literally hundreds of people saying they're proud of me. And I was like, wow.
Well, that's an easy yes. Only because not just because of your intellectualism, it's there, but there's also a soulishness about you. When I say a soulishness, you're resolved. You're not all over the place trying to chase the dollar. You know,
Yeah.
it almost appears as if you would be content in any situation that you were in until you can make a change.
And that's exactly where I'm at. I'm not gonna
I
lie,
picked that up.
because I'm not gonna say business has been exceptional, and I've made more money and yada yada. No, but I genuinely believe I have did the thing that I wanted to do with the time that I've had.
Do you have more? Do you have more fulfillment in doing the content on social or public speaking?
I think I'm realizing that I love both, because there comes moments in time where I'm like, okay, I've been making videos every single day, and yes, I can even go live, but I'm like, that human interaction is something that I really do need,
There's nothing like seeing somebody get the idea that you're trying to convey.
Yeah.
And when the light goes off above their head, it's like a light bulb, literally.
I have an actual example. So while I was working my previous job, I was a program advisor for Trio.
Okay.
So I had about
At Grand Valley?
At Grand Valley, yep. And I had about 3
Shout out to
schools.
Grand Valley State.
Hey.
Lakers, right?
They know we love GV, but
I have some financial investments in GV. My two of my kids went to GV.
exceptional school.
Yeah, it's
Exceptional school. So while I was working there, one of the schools that I went to run my Trio program was Ottawa Hills. Now, at that time, we had like a few different things that happened over time, but there wasn't that many kids that were coming. I built it to about 20 kids before I left. And there was one student, particularly, we had a summer program. He came to the summer program. He actually joined late. I'm like, John, come on, bro. Like, you got to join the summer program. I need you to apply. It'll be every day. We'll have food, and we'll have all these activities and games, whatever. 2 days later, he's like, all right, I got my parents to sign the forms. I'm coming on Monday. Perfect. We spent the whole summer together, and then I quit my job in August. And once I started creating content, I promise you, John has reposted and liked every single video. He might not know that I know this, but like, nobody supported me when I had 1,000 followers than John.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh my! Like,
So you obviously made a positive impact in his life, and you're probably goals for him. You're like, I want to do like that when I grow up.
I feel like I did it.
Did you have some folks like that you looked up to get to where you are currently?
So I joined a content creation college. It was called Creator College. And it was like a 1-month thing, and they teach you how to make content, how to post, what to post, how to have like a unique messaging angle so that you can stand out in the sea of people who are always making content. And then it's the biggest thing that I learned from them was how to format my content.
Okay.
Right? Because you can have a talking head, which is probably what this can get clipped up into, or you could have B-roll and then have me kind of be in every other shot, or there are viral formats that already exist when like a creator, okay, they'll talk for a little bit, 4 seconds of B-roll, then they'll talk again for 2 seconds, 4 seconds of B, and there's like an actual format.
So kind of like a template.
A template. And I didn't realize that a lot of these successful creators, all they're doing is understanding the format, and then they're just implementing themselves into it. I was like, whoa. That was my light bulb. And then I was like, okay, I studied all these formats. I found my own, and I'm like, okay, I think I could make this work. And Instagram has this thing where if you have over 1,000 followers, you get access to trial reels. Trial reels are any post you make will only go to people who don't follow you.
So that expands your viewership.
Expands your reach. Because now it's like, okay, if you can make good content, people who don't follow you are going to see it, and they will follow you.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I watched a bunch of videos. I'm like, what do I really want to make content about? I didn't like to edit too much, right? I wanted to keep it kind of natural. I wanted the focus to be on the value of the content that I'm creating. So then I'm like, okay, what's the most valuable thing I could do? Give the most and best information. So then I wonder, okay, what are all the questions I wish I had answers to when I was going through any hard period of my life? How do I not get overwhelmed? How do I not get stressed out? How do I control my mind? How do I not give up on myself? How do I build self-trust?
So that hence the book, right?
The book answers all of those things.
I got it.
Each individual post answers one of those questions, but it'll never be as good as the book, because the book actually puts it into, there's activities at the end of every section. And
Plus there are people who I'm a bookmonger. We got over 1,000 books in our library at home, so
I love reading.
Yeah.
That's how it happened.
Consume them. I've got books both in digital as well as the hard copy because I'm just a collector of knowledge.
Exactly.
Yeah. What would you say to a younger listening follower, and then to a more mature listener? Just the extremes. I want to bookend this. A young person who's looking up to you, like John,
Yeah.
and then probably somebody who's a lot older who wants to stay in the game or be in the game of making a difference.
To John, I would say, if it looks like I'm doing something cool, it'd be cooler if you were doing it too. You know,
In your own way. Yeah.
in your own, like whatever that is for
I like
you.
that.
I don't like nothing. I love seeing my friends win. I have had this one friend since like my freshman year of high school, my sophomore year. His name is Easton. Easton is the coolest dude ever. We literally spent the last 10 years together. And I've watched him grow up. I was always a little older, always guiding him in certain ways and
the
stuff
big
like
bro.
that.
Yeah.
And he makes me so proud to see him win. He's now he's like a physical therapist. He's a sports performance coach.
Nice.
And he helps soccer players, which is what he loved. And in high school, Easton broke his leg. He was having the best senior season I have ever seen. He would have broke every school record for Cedar Springs. I promise you. We had like
Shout out to Cedar Springs.
Yeah, a shout out again. But we literally played 8 games. He already had 15 goals, like 7 assists.
Nice.
That's ridiculous. I'm like, Easton, you're about to do something crazy. And then he breaks his leg. So I've never seen my friend so devastated. And there's only so much I could do. But then he turned that entire pain into now helping other athletes.
It's a career. Yeah.
And that's his career. And
Or calling, or both. What about the older person? What would you say to somebody who's just learning technology and all of the apparatuses that go along with the digital age that we are in? I mean, we are well into the digital age now. It's not
Absolutely.
the beginning of the digital age, but you got seniors or people who are older that's still in the game. What would you say to them?
I would say an old dog can still learn new tricks.
I like that.
It's not like that was when I read my first book on neuroscience and I learned about neuroplasticity. He just kept disproving that line over and over and over again. And that's honestly what makes me believe that I can do anything, because my mind can constantly change and shape itself in a different way.
Yeah.
Just based off of what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis.
Well, the science behind neuroplasticity is just that. You can, before it hardens, you can shape it.
You can shape it.
You can shape it.
You can shape it. And the biggest thing is the emotion you're feeling while you're in whatever state, doing whatever. Like, you have to remember you can't give up on yourself. And giving up on yourself feels a certain way.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily the most energetic thing in the world. You know what I'm saying?
You do realize that your take, and I don't know if anybody's ever told you this, it doesn't line up with traditional psychology.
Traditional psychology is based off of Sigmund Freud.
Exactly.
Let's sit down. Let's talk about it. You have some demons, I know. and I want
to feel. How does that make you feel? Right.
And I don't think that's the way to go.
So what is the way?
It's a mix
from a 24-year-old philosopher. I want to make sure the listening audience understands this is a 24-year-old philosopher sitting here.
I'm trying to come up with something, and I'm trying my best to be the example of the thing.
Okay.
But it would be a mix of like self-help psychology, positive psychology, and then learning psychology. Like, I think the process of learning is extremely important to know.
That's probably the ticket right there that
Yeah.
makes it so realistic. It puts it in real time because you're not going off of history or you're not going off of documented patterns.
Yeah.
Like diagnosis. If you think about it, when doctors, whether medical, psychological, or otherwise, see a situation, they're looking at precedent in order to call it something
Absolutely.
that it was called when it had these same symptoms. And when life really isn't completely like that. There are uniquenesses to every turn in your story, how you've shared your story through the platforms and the media that you have access to. That's a whole unique thing within itself. 8 years old, coming here to the United States, growing up here. How have you changed from the 8-year-old boy who landed in Miami?
I don't think not much.
Really?
Not much, no. I'm very, very happy with that answer. I want to remain.
Nice.
I want to remain that kid.
Nice.
I want to remain that kid, and that's the more you live life, the more things kind of cling to you that you gotta.
Trying to change you, making you hard and cold.
Yeah. I'm trying my hardest to really, really just stay attuned and aligned with that kid, and I have to constantly remind myself because the biggest thing humans do is forget.
Mm-hmm.
So I got this tattoo right here. It's like a little bracelet, and it just says "Remember."
Remember.
I don't want to forget. I don't want to forget me. I don't want to forget my purpose, what I'm made for, what I was created to do, how I actually feel at my best.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of things can make you feel good, but I know what my best feels like.
Yeah.
I've experienced it with certain areas of my life, and I can imagine it. You know, I can imagine if I close my eyes and I really ask myself, what does my best feel like? What does my best look like? And I can create images in my mind of
Mm-hmm.
experiences I can have. I have a blueprint of where to go next.
Yeah. And then the motivation is there because you've seen the outcomes.
You've seen it.
And you're a dreamer. Literally a dreamer.
Ah, man, I dream. Sometimes the dreams don't come true, but I know I one day or another, I'm going to experience it.
Yeah. Something I shared with some folks I was talking to not long ago, that there is a difference between will and shall.
Yeah.
Will is very strong. The human will and we will do, but shall is an inference that it's going to come to pass. It's just a matter of time.
It is.
It's just a matter of time.
It is.
So I think what you're doing is great. It's definitely worth some folks following, more people following you, and you sharing the content that you share. I want to dig into the book and possibly even have you back. I've got a good buddy who was on the show or on the podcast talking about similar things, the neuroplasticity and psychology in practice as opposed to in theory. And I'd love to get the two of you guys together and we could just have, just a fest or conversation around thinking and becoming.
Yes.
Because you become what you think of most. Yeah. Give some closing words. I'll let you have the last words out.
Sweet. Thank you. Hey, if you want to get my book, you can get it with the link in my bio. My Instagram is abdul.mindset. My TikTok is abdul.mindset. I look forward to coming back.
Absolutely.
This has been a wonderful conversation. I think when you just have moments to sit down and reflect, somebody you don't know, a dear friend, this is a moment of being an active participant in my life.
Amen.
And your setup is absolutely beautiful. Thank you so
I'm glad
much.
it's impressive from an expert, man. I mean, you're already doing it. You're already doing it. It is definitely a passion of mine to do all things that point toward growth and development. It's been my endeavor over these episodes. This is the second season, and I've done more than I thought I'd ever do, thanks, of course, to the support team and those who are working behind the scenes to make it happen. But at the Growth Exchange, it's all about everything growth. So let's grow. I'm Dr. Tarence Lauchié. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of The Growth Exchange. I'm Dr. Tarence Lauchié. It's been a pleasure to have these conversations and dialogues with our guests. If you notice, one thing we all share in common, and that is the ability, the desire, and the potential to grow and maximize our fullest potential. So keep tuning in. Share this with somebody, like it, maybe even invite somebody. And if you'd like to be a guest, contact us with the information that's here and available for you. Let's grow.